There once was a boy who dreamed of becoming the perfect man. He wanted nothing more than to venture past the walls of his small village. He lived alone with his mother, who was awfully worried for him, for stories had found their way home of men taken away by monsters of the night. One evening, at dusk, free from her watchful eye, the boy slipped away silently, venturing forth into the vast plains before him. After a day of travelling, the boy found shelter underneath an apple tree, whose trunk held his weary body upright, her leaves rustling in the wind. "Excuse me," said the boy. "I'm hungry, and my legs ache from walking so far. Are there no fruits you could spare me, a refuge for the night?" "Why, yes," said the tree. "Boy, you are welcome here. I will be with you tonight, and you may pick the apples from my branches, one for every setting of the sun." And so the boy rejoiced in the savouring of one golden apple, and fell soundly asleep. In the morning, the boy resolved rather impatiently to continue his adventure. Upon leaving the tree, he came across a dark cave, into which he found a deep desire to enter. Only the staggered breaths of the boy and his tentative footsteps now served to guide him in the ever-darkening cavern. At the belly of the stone beast, the boy found a shroud of warm light, and a figure cowering on the ground. It was a witch. "I'm the guardian residing within this hollow, boy. What business do you have here?" said the witch. The boy, trying to conceal his fright, shared his story with the witch, of his fearful mother and the benevolence of the apple tree. "So, you are an adventurer," said the witch. "I have met many a boy like you before." The boy shuddered with anticipation. "Well, boy, you are welcome here. Far from the damned apple tree, you may have as many apples as you'd like, as often as you'd like." The eyes of the boy laughed with delight as the witch conjured 3 apples from her cloak, perfectly plump and without blemish. He clawed at her hands, hastily taking a bite out of each apple. So much sweeter than that of the tree, the boy thought, as he blissfully closed his eyes, though by the time they had opened, the apples had miraculously rotted in his hands. The boy looked up, and as he swallowed the last of the fruity flesh, the face of the witch grew more and more monstrous. Her scaly form grew into that of a dragon. "Stay, boy, and meet your end here," she bellowed. Terrified, the boy ran towards the faint light of the entrance, heaving his body in desperation. "You can't escape, boy," shrieked the dragon, as he rushed, startled by the litter of bones surrounding his path, now illuminated by the dragon's fiery breath. The dragon had grown too big for the cave, and in her blind pursuit clattered the roof with a thunderous tone, making the inner walls creak uneasily. As escape was in sight, she clawed at the boy's leg, viciously tearing at his flesh, making him scream in pain. "Now squirm, boy," she grinned, as the boy hopelessly dragged his body along the floor. But as she approached, the cavern screeched, and a series of boulders struck the dragon down. Wheezing in alarm, she struggled underneath the rocks. The boy, weak and shaken, got to his feet, and limped in her direction. In his hand was a great sword he had found among the skeletal remains beside him, which he raised above his head as the dragon roared with an evil voice. His hands trembling, yet his feet firmly rooted to the ground, the boy swung downward and killed the dragon, with shards of rock crashing down from above. Just before the cave collapsed inwardly, the boy dove towards the light and was met with a fresh taste of wet grass. He lay there for a time, blankly exhausted, till beams of sunlight kissed his face, reviving his body. The boy slowly emerged upright and wandered in the direction he imagined to be home. After an arduous trek, a wave of relief washed over him as he made out the apple tree in the far distance. Upon arriving, he again collapsed, finding the familiarity of her trunk, her leaves swaying just as before. "I'm sorry, boy. I cannot offer you free apples," said the tree. The boy smiled gently. "No, tree. One is enough. As I am now, one is more than enough."